What's up guys, Jim Yosef here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're taking a look at some potential SBCs for Team of the Season. And yesterday I done a video talking about information when potentially we could be seeing Team of the Season, and my prediction right now could all be Wednesday. But that is just a prediction for now, so hopefully we get some more information in the next couple of days. But today, like I said, look at potential SBCs, in particular player SBCs. Not ones like guaranteed Team of the Season packs, but basically players that are borderline getting a Team of the Season in their league itself, but may not get in. So remember back to the Team of the Season most consistent, there's 24 players instead of 23, so making the assumption that one of those players will be used as an SBC player. Right then, before we get started, as always, if you can show your support by leaving a like rating, that'd be absolutely awesome. If you're new to my channel, make sure to click that subscribe button for daily FIFA content and the comments below. What SBC player are you hoping to get throughout Team of the Season? And finally, if you missed my previous video, look down below in the description box. But let's start off with the very first league, and that is going to be the French Ligue 1. I've only got like 5 players to get through for the simple fact I was going through goal contributions and clean sheets, and the majority of the players that have been very good this season, I'm pretty certain they'll get in the Team of the Season anyway. But the player on your screen right now is a striker version of Makanjo, a Cameroonian striker who's very pacey, around 96 pace, 84 dribbling, 82 shot, 74 passing, and 70 physical. To be honest, for me, doesn't really appeal to me too much because his stats, they aren't fantastic, and much better strikers already in the league. But his stats this season, 24 games, 1 as a sub as well, 13 goals and 1 assist. The second player is going to be a FIFA 12 legend, I believe it is. Jimmy Brown, formerly used to play for Lyon, now currently plays for EA Guingamp. I've probably butchered the name. By the way, his stats this season are pretty damn impressive. 32 games, 2 as a sub as well, so 34 in total, 12 goals and 5 assists. Like 17 goal contributions in a team which really are at the top of the table. That's very good going out, and could well see a card like that in the near future. Then we go on to Tobu, who's currently playing for Montpellier, and this one I'm pretty sure he will get into the official Ligue TOTS because his stats this season are very good going. 31 games, 11 goals and 8 assists for a centre attack midfielder. I think that's very close to getting a guaranteed TOTS. So either way, if he doesn't get in that, I think he could well be the player we get as an SBC. Then we move on to Player. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name properly, but does play for Nice currently, and one thing about him, his stats this season are pretty damn good, 11 goals and 2 assists, but he only made 22 starts and 3 sub appearances. I think he got injured. Like, if I'm correct, he's been injured since like February, so either way, has got very good stats, but I'm not sure if he's played enough. The final player is a goalkeeper, and that's Anthony Lopez from Lyon. He's played 33 games this season, keeping 12 clean sheets. And then we move on to the next league, which is going to be La Liga in Spain. The very first player is Piatti, and his card wouldn't be bad in the slightest, to be honest, but 87 rated, 90 pace, 90 dribbling, 86 shot and 84 passing. His stats this season, 28 games, 10 goals and 9 assists. Which in comparison to a lot of players, I imagine could all get into Team of the Season. Again, I'm not too sure how well he's played in every single game, but his stats are pretty impressive, and a lot of players I imagine could get TOTS with much less goal contributions. Then we go on to the next one, and that is Sergio Asenjo, one of my favourite goalkeepers on FIFA 17, but unfortunately for him, he's got a really bad ACL injury, I think keeping out to like August or something, so he's not really played too many games this season, a total of 24, but in those 24 games he kept 12 clean sheets. So he clean sheet every 2 games, which is very impressive. I think the highest right now is probably 18 or so for Jan Oblak. I could be completely wrong there. But it would be a fantastic card. Hopefully, yeah, do release it, because I'd actually use him as my Spanish goalkeeper in the game. But still, not sure if he's played enough compared to other players. Then we go on to Carlos Vela. I think he's actually voted for Team of the Season most consistent, but he was removed in the last couple of drafts. And he would also be a very tidy card with a total of 33 appearances this season, 9 goals and 2 assists for the Mexican winger. I think because he missed out on Team Season most consistent, it could give him a massive shout of being the player for the SBC. Then we go on to Roberto Soriano from Villarreal, and this season so far, I believe his debut season after making a transfer in the summer, 32 games, 9 goals and 5 assists from centre mid or left wing. He would be a much better centre midfielder, but unfortunately I believe a lot of his games this season have been out wide as a left-sided player. Then we go on to Sevilla's Pablo Sarabia, or Sarabia, I'm not sure how you say his name, but his total stats this season for Sevilla are 22 games and 11 substitute appearances, so 33 in total, 8 goals and 8 assists. For a player who's pretty much been on the bench most of the season and been subbed on, that is really good going, with a decent card, very good dribbling, decent pace, and a good passing, but the shooting stat would be quite low. Then we go on to Morata. Now, I believe we'll be getting a second in form, hence I boosted it so much. That would be an unreal Team of the Season card. I don't think he'll actually make it into La Liga TOTS again. He's not really played too many games in total. 13 starts and 11 substitute appearances, but his goals to game, 15 goals and 4 assists in those 24 games. And he'd be so good next to that premium SBC Torres as a Spanish duo. And the final one is going to be Sergi Enrich, who currently plays for SD Eibar, again in La Liga of course. And his card doesn't look fantastic, although his stats this season, 29 starts, 7 sub appearances, 11 goals and 6 assists. And let's face it, out of La Liga players are chosen, I'm pretty sure everyone would love a Morata. And now we move on to another league. This time it is going to Germany with the Bundesliga. And the very first player is one I would absolutely love, and that is Leon Goretzka from FC Schalke. He'd be an all-80 club, a ridiculously good card. I loved his man of match one from the Europa League. And his stats this season, 27 games, 5 goals and 2 assists. It's not a fantastic, like, crazy good return, but apparently his performances have been so good. And he may even make it into the official Bundesliga TOTS, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he does get his card. Then we go on to Max Cruz, and this one, his stats this season are phenomenal. 21 games played, so not really played too much, but 14 goals and 5 assists. Given the fact he's only played 21 games, could well stop him getting an official Bundesliga TOTS, but I think as an SBC card, no one really complained about this one, because as a cam, he has phenomenal stats. Just convert him down 2 positions, with 81 pace, 91 shot, 89 dribbling, and 87 passing, and 80 physical, so a very nice tight player there. Then we go on to Kramaric, a former Leicester City player, really didn't fit in there whatsoever, and to be fair, wasn't given a massive opportunity, but then he transferred to Hoffenheim, and he's really doing well for himself now. He's had 26 starts this season and 6 substitute appearances, and contributed 13 goals with 8 assists as a striker. I think he's also played a couple of games as a, I think I saw a centre midfielder and potentially a winger. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure he'll get into Bundesliga TOTS anyway in the 23-man squad. Then we've got Sandro Wagner, another Hoffenheim player, and out of all the players I mentioned so far, he's one I want the least basically, because his card is pretty god awful. 65 pace, 86 shot, 88 physical, okay, shooting and physical are very, very good, but 53 passing, 74 dribbling, pretty awful. But his stats this season, 29 games, 11 goals and 2 assists. Then we go on to a goalkeeper. I really can't pronounce his name properly, but I'm going to try it anyway. Radetzky. Apparently the H is silent, so if I said that wrong I do apologise, but his stats this season, 31 games and 11 clean sheets, and I think has already got quite a few special cards. Then move on to Serge Gnabry, formerly of Arsenal, then he went to Werder Bremen, and 22 games or 22 starts, 3 substitute appearances, 11 goals and 1 assist. And that'd be a really tidy card to have, because now he's got a 4-star skill move since the update, or the skill move upgrades, 95 pace and 90 dribbling, and a 79 passing and 78 physical, though he does have a striker card currently as an informed version. Then we go on to Philipp Lahm, a legend of the game, and his final ever season for Bayern Munich, and at 22 starts this season, 2 subs, 1 goal, 2 assists, but he's there for his overall performance. And it's another player I'm pretty sure will be in the 23-man squad. Then we got to the final one, and that's going to be Hervedez from Schalke. 29 games for him, 1 goal, 1 assist, but again, it's been suggested because on an overall performance basis, 75 pace, 95 defending, 92 physical, 81 dribbling and 80 passing. Genuinely, those stats, one of the best centre backs in the game. And I think out of all the Bundesliga players I've mentioned so far, I've got a couple I'd really like. Gnabry would be all over that card, as well as Hervedez, but I think my favourite is probably going to be Goretzka. And now we go to Italy with the Serie A, and I'm going to say from the very start of this one, there are a lot of attackers this year in Italy with a lot of goal contributions, so a lot of players that got 13 to 14 goals may miss out. And that's why I put him in this part of the video. So Kalinic is up first. I believe he used to play in the Premier League potentially, and back in January was linked to move to China for like £45 million, but Fiorentina and himself didn't say no. But his stats this season, 25 starts, 5 substitute appearances, 14 goals and 2 assists, so could well get a team of the season card in the 23-man squad, but I think potentially could be an SBC player. One card I think everyone would absolutely love is Keita Balde-Diao, currently playing it for Lazio, and recently, last like 3 or 4 games, has been playing as a striker, but majority of the season has been as a left winger, and in total, he's played 19 starts, 10 substitute appearances, 14 goals and 3 assists. He had like 99 pace, 95 dribbling, 89 shot, 88 passing and 88 physical, one of the best left wing cards in the game. Unfortunately, if he's a striker though, he'd be even better. Then we go on to Marco Borriello. His stats are going to be 33 games total, 27 starts, 6 sub appearances, and it's 16 goals to his name. Then we move on to the next one, that is Suso, formerly of Liverpool. 30 games and 1 sub appearance, 7 goals and 9 assists. It's another very good wide player for the Serie A, but one thing about him, 64 physical, it's not fantastic, but the rest of the stats are very solid. Then we go on to Adam Ljajic, I think I said his name correctly, currently playing for Torino. And he has got 28 starts, 3 sub appearances, 9 goals and 8 assists. And I believe yesterday, he scored a ridiculously nice free kick Against Juventus, and the card would be very low rated, just an 83 or so, but stats not god awful. Then we go on to Perisic. This one would be crazy to have because the stats are very good. 28 games with 5 sub appearances, 10 goals and 5 assists. Just like I mentioned before, a lot of attackers have done really well in the Serie A this season, so players like Perisic will probably miss out, as I believe Inter have had an absolute nightmare so far. And the final one is going to be Berisha, an Atalanta goalkeeper, and this season played 25 games and keeping 11 clean sheets. So a very nice return there, just like Asensio in Spain, and a goalkeeper's not really played too much. I believe currently is like 3rd or 4th in the current highest clean sheets. And out of all the Serie A players I mentioned, I think Diao would be my favourite one to get. And the final one to cover is going to be the Premier League, and potentially the very first one we get just after most consistent team of the season. The very first player is Wilfried Zaha. And the stats on that card are very good. 95 pace, 93 dribbling, 83 shot, 84 passing, and 83 physical. His stats this season for Palace: 32 games and 1 sub appearance, 6 goals and 9 assists. I think his assists this season are very close to the top. Then we go on to Gini Wijnaldum. He just missed out on team season most consistent. 31 starts, 3 as a sub, 5 goals and 6 assists. But remember, he's now a centre midfielder. He's not a winger like he was at Newcastle United, but I think his role this year, he's adapted so well. To be honest, when we first signed him, I was very confused as to where he'd fit into our team, because at Newcastle, like I said before, I believe we play on the left-hand side, but now, as a centre midfielder for Liverpool, very, very impressive, although I think he has played there before in the Eredivisie. Another player that missed out on team season most consistent is going to be Victor Wanyama from Tottenham. I believe he's in like 3 or 4 of the drafts in total, but eventually went for just Jan Vertonghen from Spurs, and at 32 games this season, 1 sub, 2 goals, but to be honest, his stat, that's not his job. He's there to be a defensive brute. And clearly his FIFA Ultimate Team card would suggest that as well, with 88 defending and 94 physical. Another Spurs player is Moussa Dembele. He does already have an SBC card, so I think maybe this one will be very unlikely, but I'd be all over that card, all 80 club. 23 starts, 4 sub appearances, 1 goal and 1 assist, but he's bossed it all season when he has played. He already has an SBC though, like I mentioned before, so he could well miss out. Then we go on to Gylfi Sigurdsson. He does really deserve to be in the 23-man squad for the team season itself, so I'm assuming he will do, but just in case, if not, 35 games, 1 sub, 9 goals and 12 assists. And that's the team that's currently fighting relegation, so if he's a higher up team, I was at Spurs before, but I think potentially could have moved to Everton this summer. And the final couple, first up, Jermaine Defoe from Sunderland. I know they got relegated, but him personally, his performances, they were so good. 35 games, 15 goals and 2 assists for the England international, now obviously recalled very recently. And the final one is going to be Josh King from Bournemouth. And he could be the surprise package because 30 starts this season, 5 games as a sub, 15 goals and 2 assists. Recently, last like 3 or 4 months, his form has been up there with some of the top players in the league. And they're all the Premier League players I'm suggesting then. So the one obviously I personally want to see is Gini Wijnaldum. I think he deserves it. There's a lot of players. I pretty much take every single one. They're all usable. But on that note, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. So as always, if you enjoyed it, show support by leaving a like rating. That'd be absolutely awesome. If you're new to my channel, make sure to click that subscribe button for daily FIFA content. And the comments below, what player are you hoping to see as an SBC team of the season player? And finally, if you missed my previous video, you're down below in the description box. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.